Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. In this video we return to Night Vale. We are in episode 3, season 1, station management. So without further ado, let's get into this.
The Arctic is lit by the midnight sun. The surface of the moon is lit by the face of the earth. Our little town is lit, too, by lights just above that we cannot explain.
Yes. We are getting into the weirdness, or more weirdness, the hilarious weirdness of Night Vale.
Welcome to Night Vale.
This has pretty good music, that kind of military snare in the background. It's kind of interesting. All in all, it's pretty good music.
The Night Vale Daily Journal has announced that they will be cutting back their publication schedule to Monday through Thursday only, due to the economic downturn and a massive decline in the literate population.
Hey, it sounds like America in general right now.
The Thursday Daily Journal will now be called the Weekend Edition, and on Sundays, newspaper kiosks, usually filled with important newsprint, will be filled with 2% milk.
Just random milk and the old school newspaper dispensing machines. I don't know how many people out there are old enough to remember the big square things. You dropped your little quarter in, you opened it up, and you took anywhere from one to all the newspapers. Most people only took the one they paid for, but every now and again you'd get the person that would pay for one and take them all.
When asked why milk, the journal's publishing editor, Leanne Hart, said, "It is important that we maintain an unbiased approach to news reporting."
And milk does that, I guess.
The Night Vale Business Association is proud to announce the new Night Vale Stadium, next to the Night Vale Harbor and Waterfront Recreation.
And we learned last episode about the Waterfront Recreation Center
Area. The stadium will be able to seat 50,000, but will be closed all nights of the year except November 10th for the annual Parade of the Mysterious Hooded Figures.
And that is, sounds like most Southern high school football stadiums.
In which all of our favorite ominous hooded figures, the one that lurks under the slide in the Night Vale Elementary Playground, the ones that meet regularly in the dog park.
Yeah, back to the dog park. The dog park is interesting. As we get more and more into this series, the dog park becomes more and more interesting.
And the one that will occasionally openly steal babies, and for reason no one can understand, we all stand by and let him do it.
Because, well, it's Night Vale, and that's what you do in Night Vale.
All of them will be parading proudly through Night Vale Stadium. I tell you, with these new facilities, it promises to be quite a spectacle. And then, it promises to be a vast, dark, and echoey space for the other meaningless
Yes, occult rituals done at a local level, inclusive local level at that.
364 days of the year.
I guess they don't observe light years, leap years, not light years, leap years in Nightville.
Here at the radio station, it's contract negotiation season with the station management again. That's always an interesting time. Now, obviously, I'm not allowed to go into
details, and probably, I wonder if it's like a yearly or bi-yearly thing, or, once every X number of years.
the details. But negotiation is tricky when you're never allowed to glimpse what you're negotiating with. Station management stays inside their office at all times, only communicating with us through sealed envelopes that are spat out from under the door like a sunflower shell through teeth.
That is some really interesting imagery there.
Then, in order to respond, you just kind of shout at the closed door and hope that management hears. Sometimes you can see movements through the frosted glass, large shapes shifting around, strange tendrils whipping through the air.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of my last job.
Architecturally speaking, the apparent size of management's office does not physically make sense given the size of the building, but it's hard to say.
It's hard to say in Nightville, with all those extra dimensional spaces popping up here and there, and airplanes flying through gyms, and so Nightville's not a place where a lot of things make a whole lot of sense and a whole lot of matter.
Really, as no one has ever seen the actual office, only its translucence. Look, I've probably said too much. I can see down the hall that an envelope just came flying out. I pray it's not another HR retraining session in the dark box.
Yeah, now that definitely sounds like TDC, retraining in a dark box. Yeah, that's about their, Texas Department of Corrections, about their speed, about their level.
But what can I say? I'm a reporter at heart. I can't not report.
Got a point. Unfortunately, let's see if management agrees with Cecil.
Oh, my. Let's go to the 7-day outlook. Your daily shades of the sky forecast. Monday, turquoise. Tuesday, taupe.
You gotta imagine, that going out and looking up and seeing stuff like that is just, kind of interesting. Kind of really escapist, I guess you could call it. It really gets, insane.
Wednesday, robin's egg. Thursday, turquoise taupe.
I wonder if robin's egg is a real color. I might have to look that up. I don't know. There's so much stuff in these podcasts that come up that, beg to be looked up. Beg to, you just got to go, I wonder if that's real.
Friday, coal dust. Saturday, coal dust with chances of indigo in the late afternoon. Sunday.
Now that could be that could be Texas any time during the year. Our weather does weird stuff, and I can see that happening.
Void. The City Council has asked me to remind everyone about the new drive to clean up litter.
Uh-oh. this should get interesting really quick.
Night Vale is our home, and who wants to leave trash all over their home? Put it in the garbage can, listeners, and if you see any trash around, pick it up and throw it away. Do your part. Unless the trash is marked with a small red flag. The council has asked me to remind you that any litter marked with a red flag is not to be picked up or approached.
That makes, the poor sap that has to go mark the litter with the red flags. That is interesting. I wonder if that's like a city job or if that's like a volunteer position.
Remember the slogan, no flag goes in the bag. Red flag, run.
Yeah, that's kind of a good, a good thing.
Listeners, we are currently fielding numerous reports that books have stopped working.
Yeah, I could just see like a Gen Alpha picking up a book and going, "Yes, they're working." But that's just me. Though Gen X, we grew up on books, and millennials kind of were in that transition period from hard books into like Kindle and all that stuff. Them and the Ys and X's, all kind of, a mixture of hard copy and digital copy, audio copy, and all that good stuff. But I think we've almost gotten to the point where published, books are kind of obscure. I don't think publishing houses publish at the volume that they did, say, in the 1980s.
It seems that all over Night Vale, books have simply ceased functioning. The scientists are studying one of the broken books to see if they can understand just what is going on here. The exact problem is currently unclear.
As problems like that tend to be. Please excuse my voice. Just ate some really, really spicy ramen, so it's kind of got the after spicy stuff going on. Plus, it breaks up my sinuses and gets them to draining real good.
But some of the words being used include sparks, meat smell, biting, and lethal gas. For your own safety, please do not attempt to open a book until we have more information on the nature and cause of these problems.
That all sounds like conditions that one would experience after visiting Taco Bell, to be honest with you. I mean, let's be honest here. Those are all conditions that one has after Taco Bell.
The City Council has released only a brief statement indicating that their stance on books has not changed, and that, as always, they believe that books are dangerous and inadvisable.
Yeah, that kind of rings way too close to home and too awkward. Not awkward, just scary.
And should not be kept in private homes. Another warning for Night Vale residents. Sources say that the used and discount sporting goods store on Flint Drive is a front for the world government.
Yes. The New World Order now. NWO. New World Order, yeah. New Order World, whatever. Yeah, that's just hilarious. How things like that get started, how small towns, things like that get started, everything from new deep state government to all kinds of crazy stuff.
This is based on extensive study of the location, and also because it has a black helicopter pad on which black helicopters regularly depart and land.
Yeah, that's pretty good clues there, to be honest with you.
Fairly unusual for a used and discount sporting goods store.
Unless they're used and discounted black helicopters. I mean, come on.
We sent our intern, Chad, to try buying a tennis racket, and have not heard back from him for several weeks.
Now that is an ongoing thing. If you want to have fun, make notes of the names of all the interns as we go through, and our interns' fates as we go through this series.
This brings me to a related point. To the parents of Chad, the intern, we regret to inform you that your son was lost in the line of community radio duty, and that he will be missed and never forgotten. May you all feel blessed to have the family that you have. And if you're looking for sporting goods, check out Play Ball right over by our own Night Vale community radio station. Play Ball is only a front for the sheriff's secret police, and so can be completely trusted.
It's, government agencies using storefronts. Interesting. I wonder if there's any kind of basis in that, basis of fact or historical basis, like in America or maybe Soviet Russia, Communist China or something. You never know.
Larry Leroy, out on the edge of town, reported that a creeping fear came into Night Vale today. He felt it first as a mild apprehension, then a growing worry, and finally a mortal panic.
And that sounds like everyday anxiety in America.
It passed from him to the employees at the car lot, who crouched behind their cars and cast fearful eyes at the empty sky. It did not affect old woman Josie, presumably because of her angelic protection.
But, like I said, that's nothing unusual or scary. That's just life in modern America.
But it went from there to the rest of the town until we all were shivering in anticipation for a terrible thing we could not yet see.
Yeah, yep, just everyday life.
I myself was frozen, sure that any movement would lead to death, that any word would be my last.
Back in the 1990s, late 1900s for you younger kids, with chemical experimentation, I got elevated a couple times to that point.
Of course, that also could have been the contract negotiations with station management and the hideous envelope I just received.
And yeah, that would do it too.
Also, I'm battling Lyme disease.
Lyme disease. It's not funny, but there's just the random, there's being random about, just so random about it, and just being so just blasé about it.
Meanwhile, the creeping fear passed. First, leaving Larry Leroy out on the edge of town, and then the car lot, where they went back to offering gently used cars at affordable prices.
Gently used cars. I like that. I gotta someone ought to do that, like on eBay listings. Have something that's used. Just throw gently. This product. Product X, gently used. I think that would be worth it. I think that would be cool.
And finally, the rest of us, who could go back to living with the knowledge that, at any given moment, we will either live or die.
And that's kind of a profound statement if you think about it.
It's no use guessing which. It is not currently known where the creeping fear will go next. Hopefully, to Desert Bluffs. It would serve them right.
Yeah, we got an episode coming up here fairly soon, I think, that you have interaction between Night Vale and Desert Bluffs. It's kind of interesting. We have a couple that are coming up that are that take place over multiple episodes, which are pretty good.
2 hawk-eyed listeners sent in reports that Carlos, our curious scientific visitor, was seen getting his beautiful, beautiful haircut. He was having his gorgeous hair shorn, cut short, so very short from his perfectly shaped, brilliant head. Listeners, I am not one to gossip, even if it is a local celebrity, but please explain to me why Carlos would strip away, decimate any part of his thick black hair, not to ignore the dignified, if premature...
Yeah, I think Cecil might be crushing.
Sure touch of gray in the temples. What treacherous barber should agree to such depravity?
Anyone getting paid to do it would be my guess.
Who takes mere money or even soulless joy in depriving our small community of such a simple but important act as luridly admiring Carlos's stunning coif? Reports from 2 intrepid sources are that it was Telly the barber. Telly, who likes sports and has posters of combs. Telly the barber seems to be the one who...
Yeah, I think Cecil is not happy with his scientist crush getting a haircut.
Betrayed our community. Telly the barber. It is Telly the barber at the corner of Southwest 5th Street and Old Musk Road, with the red and white spinning pole and the sign that says Telly's.
Yeah, I think I said in one of the other earlier videos that I love the fact that this is approached from the viewpoint that you listening to the podcast are actually listening to a radio while living in Nightville. That's just kind of cool.
Telly is about 5'9" with a small mustache and a thick pot belly. He talks with an accent and sneers.
Yeah, can't trust those people talking with accents that sneer.
Telly the barber cut Carlos's beautiful hair, according to reports.
According to reports.
Telly.
I think Cecil's not amused with Telly at this point.
Now, while I gather myself, let's have a look at traffic. Oh, wow. Well, that looks pretty good. Yep.
And the thing is, I can see, weather station or news stations out of Houston, especially the different radio stations in Houston, doing it. Yep, that's traffic. It looks good.
Yes. Okay, not too bad there either, I see. Oh, that gentleman needs to slow it down. It is not a race, my friend. Not a literal one, anyway.
Yep. There's no telling.
That has been traffic. And now for an editorial. I don't ask favors much, dear listeners, that you know. But
when someone just says something like that, yeah, it's just kind of there, and my sinuses are going a little bit wild right now.
I'm asking all of you now to conduct a letter-writing campaign to station management, which was not pleased with my discussion of their physical attributes and behavior, and is now threatening to shut down my show, or possibly my life.
Probably shutting down people's shows one thing, but shutting down their life is probably, kind of final at that point.
For good. Their wording was kind of ambiguous. Obviously, we will not be able to deliver the letters directly to the management, per se, as no one has ever opened their door, but we can shout the content of the letters outside their office, and we presume, given an anatomy that includes ears,
that they hear you and they listen. And the fact this is only the third episode, it's kind of, well, you never know. Try not to spoil things.
They will be able to hear what you have to say. So if you like this show, and you want to hear more of it, then we need to hear from you. Make your voice heard to whatever it is that lies in wait behind that darkened office door. Oh.
That's the sound of management, I guess. Or unhappy management.
I'm sorry, dear listeners. We'll be back after this word from our sponsors. This segment has been brought to us by Big Rico's Pizza.
Now, Big Rico's Pizza pops in and out of the show a lot. And from the descriptions, it actually sounds like someplace I wouldn't mind going to, even though it is Night Vale.
Listeners, we are proud to have Big Rico's as a sponsor of our show. You will not find a better pizza joint in all of Night Vale than Big Rico's. Just the other night, I stopped by Big Rico's. I was in the mood for a delicious pizza slice, and since Big
Rico's is in Night Vale, there is no telling what you actually got.
Big Rico's is the only pizza place in Night Vale that is not burnt to the ground in an unsolved arson case, and did I mention is also the best pizza in town.
Well, if it's the only pizza in town,
I ordered a single Rico slice with 2 authentic toppings, and boy was I satisfied. The flavor was scrumptious. The taste was also scrumptious.
I like the word scrumptious. I don't think we use it enough in modern America.
And it was warm, the pizza slice. I have been told that even the hooded figures eat there. The waitstaff look like they avert their hollow gazes quite a bit. Even the city council offers its ringing endorsement of Big Rico.
Yeah, makes you wonder what's really behind Big Rico's. I mean, from what we've learned of Night Vale so far.
All Night Vale citizens are mandated to eat at Big Rico's once a week. It is a misdemeanor not to.
So yeah, thing is, I could see certain corporate welfare politicians, requiring that people coming up with laws like that just simply because they don't want to make legislation that would affect their possible handouts from their corporate overlords.
Big Rico's Pizza. No one does a slice like Big Rico, folks. No one. And now, sweet listeners.
Now we're back to the dramatic, over-the-top music.
The weather.
Oh, the weather. Yeah, we can listen. We'll listen to a little bit, then we'll skip a few.
Little roadside stand. Man said his name.
And we'll go ahead and do that. Just kind of skipping through it. This should be the end of the weather. We're pretty close to the end of it. We should be getting back into the show soon. There we go.
Hello, radio audience. I come to you live from under my desk, where I've dragged my microphone and am currently hiding in the fetal position. Did you write letters? Maybe you should not do this anymore. Station management.
Yeah, this is, one of the crazy things that go on.
Has opened its door for the first time in my memory and is now roaming the building. I don't know exactly what management looks like, as that is when I took cover under my desk, and I can only hope that they are not listening to what's going out right now, or else I may have sealed my fate.
Or you may have become a forever radio host. You never know.
I can hear only a kind of clicking footstep and a faint hissing sound, like releasing steam. An intern went to see what management wanted and has not returned.
Yeah, feed the interns, or feed the interns to management.
If you are related to Jerry Hartman, afternoon board operator at Night Vale Community Radio, I'm sorry to inform you that he is probably dead, or at least corporeally absorbed into management
Corporeally absorbed, I like that.
permanently. Jerry and Chad, the interns, will both be missed, but we will surely see them in the Thanksgiving Day Dead Citizens Impersonation Contest.
That's just kind of crazy,
Which this year will be in the employee lounge under the Night Vale Mall from 11 a.m. to 9:45 p.m.
The employee lounge under the mall. That's interesting.
There will be a cash bar and 2 twister boards. I'm going to see if I can make a break for the door.
Twister boards, interesting.
If you don't hear from me again, it has truly been a pleasure. Good night, Night Vale, and goodbye.
Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Night Vale Presents. It is written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner.
So, that is episode 3, store management, or station management, excuse me. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the Night Vale and all the other videos. So, until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?